I just thought I'd film this because I think it'll be nice to look back on one day. Right, so what are we on? So it's Friday the 13th of January. It's been... Yesterday was a little bit more chilled out. The day before, which was Wednesday, I felt like I had like a mini mental breakdown, and it was horrible, and I got really upset and grumpy, and basically yesterday, which was the 12th of January, was my due date for baby number 5, and we'd had a scan on Monday, because on Saturday, so 2 days before that scan, it was Saturday night, and I normally kind of roughly know when his movements are and stuff like that. You get used to a kind of routine from them, and I got really panicking. I said to Matt, he's not moving. I tried having a bath, I tried having sugary drink, all of that, and then Matt, bless him, was like really relaxed and obviously concerned, but everything was fine, by the way. But he was like, well, just have I'll get you, have a piece of chocolate or something. I was like, I don't want chocolate, you're not meant to do anything, you're meant to just go in. And he was like, well, we'll just go into the hospital then, and get him checked out. So that's what we ended up doing. I ended up ringing Mum and Dad, bless them. They came over to sit with the boys, who'd luckily just gone to bed, so they weren't like running around and doing, they weren't going to be like energy zapping. And I'm just going to have a drink because I'm really thirsty. I got this the other day, bought it off Amazon because the Camelback ones are really nice. The only thing is you lose, because of the straw at the bottom, I find that you always lose like a couple of, at least an inch or so of water or juice, whatever, every time I have a drink. And I got the 600ml bottle, and I think I could have done, this is my other one that I've got on the go as well, because I'm going to be really honest now. Look at this. Look how many bottles. There's 1, 2, 3 500ml bottles of water, 2 500ml bottles of Lucozade Sport, which is all sold out in Asda because I went last night to try and get some refills for my labour bag, and they'd all gone, and I honestly was... I'm getting emotional about it now. I was in Asda and I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe that because there's 50p off a pack, there's none left. There was none. I mean, there was some left, but not the right flavour. But that's not the point. The raspberry ones were gone. The orange ones were gone. And it was my due date yesterday, so that would have been... And I know... The universe it's not bothered, but I was bothered. So that's my little mess. I've got, what else have I got there? Overflow of like glass, my glasses. I've got a mirror. I tried to tint my eyebrows and stuff yesterday. That didn't go well. I think I've done that wrong. There's a pillow, an extra pillow that I'm going to just grab hopefully when labour starts. This is the wardrobe, which I don't really know what to do with. And then there's like like an excess bag for what I'm going to take with me to hospital, hopefully. And I've got a bobble as well, which came with a 90 that I got from M&S, because I always like panic buy 90s when I'm getting close to... excuse me. This is just a really raw... I hate that word, raw. It's horrible. Supposed to be... I just wanted to be honest about the days leading up to labour, birth, that kind of thing. Because I've done this now 5 times. Well, I've done it 4 times, but this will be the 5th. And you just, from my experience anyway, you just feel really, it's very strange because this feels more like the first time I was pregnant with Leo, and you're kind of waiting for labour. I had Leo, and he was I went into labour, and then 36 odd hours later, he was born through cesarean, which I hated it. It was very traumatic. Even though my mum had me through cesarean, I'd not even really thought about it. And also, even though she talked about what had kind of happened with when she'd had me and I was born, I didn't really understand. I kind of didn't read anything to do with that. So I was naive about vaginal birth as well. So I was just like, la 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 la, the baby will come, I'll have an epidural. I just didn't want to I wanted to avoid pain. So when labour started with Leo, I kind of just wanted it to stop, even though I really wanted him there, if that makes sense. And I also had back labour with him as well, which I didn't even know was a thing, and it was. And so there's all that. Anyway, cutting back to present day. Oh yeah, sorry. And then I was going to say, then I had Alex and Teddy were both cesareans. Alex was an elective cesarean, and that, out of all of the births that I've had, well, sort of, his was lovely. It was weird because you basically go to the hospital, and I wasn't in labour or anything, so I had a meltdown and sort of like a panic attack the night before. I think it's because I couldn't shave, because I don't know whether this is like a thing that they do every cesarean. I know that I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna ask my midwife today, actually. But when I was having Leo, it was like all like, oh God, we've got to get you in theatre, but we need to shave you first, like shave your pubic area. And it's like, for fuck's sake, like, is that really necessary? And then with Alex, I wanted to make sure that was done, because the way that they did it in the hospital was like with a like awful, like plastic, no water, no soap, just literally dry, and it was awful, just really bad. And I've got really sensitive skin, and really I'd rather just leave it alone. Like, I personally, just leave it alone unless it's summertime and you're really hot. So I needed to do that, but obviously with a baby bump, it's quite difficult to reach that area. And I'm plus size, so I've got like an overhang as well, so it's really, really hard, and it's really sensitive because I'd already got the cesarean scar and all that. So I was like trying to get Matt to kind of help with that, and then I was just like, oh, you're doing it, blah, blah, blah. And the whole kind of very hormonal, very heavily pregnant, get away from me, leave me alone, why did you do this, all of that kind of horrible. But it's funny when you look back on it, sort of stuff. So it's a bit like this week, the outbursts that have happened, which if it was my mate, I'd be like, oh, it's okay, like, you're pregnant, don't worry about it. And Matt's been lovely, but the kind of normal me is like, that's awful, like, why, you need to calm down. And so I don't know, I don't really feel myself. And I do feel anxious, which is why I keep picking my lip. I do feel very tearful. Teddy was born. He was supposed to be a VBAC, but then again, I had a sort of, my mental health was deteriorating quite a lot, and I kind of like panicked and said, okay, because they were telling me, we think it's best if you have a cesarean, and I didn't really know any better, and the fear got to me, so I did that. And there's nothing wrong with the cesarean, by the way, it's just that, and there isn't, and they can be amazing, and obviously they're very much needed and stuff, they are, and I just have kind of mixed feelings about it. What was it? Oh yeah, and then I had Ambrose. Was born when he was just shy of 20 weeks. That was really hard. I'm not going to go into that right now, but his birth was it was a mixture, because it was a physiological birth, so no, I was induced, but I didn't have any pain relief or anything. It was just like kind of all natural, and he was born, and I couldn't believe, I mean, obviously he was very, very small, but obviously the labour and everything was just as intense as it had been with Leo, but I felt like I coped a lot better, even though the circumstances were, I knew that he was going to be born sleeping, so that was really hard emotionally, but physically it was like completely different to the other births that I'd had. And then this baby, hopefully, I'm planning to have him vaginally, and I'm trying to wait to go into labour spontaneously, because which I hope will happen, but because induction's not an option. So last night I had sort of period pains throughout the night. I found it really hard to sleep. I was kind of going from left to right, and I did take a bit of paracetamol as well last night, which I haven't done for a while because I just really needed to get some sleep. I feel a bit ropey this morning. I feel a bit sicky and like empty, and just, I don't know, I just feel a bit off. So what time? So my mum is very, very, sorry, my eyes are really itchy. My mum, bless her, and my sister have really kindly got the boys and taken them to school. It's so nice. So Teddy will be loving it, because he's got Auntie Lauren, and he's got Mum and Grandma, but I just feel a bit, I don't know, I just felt like that all week. It's really weird. So the plan this morning is, because again, I'm still really torn as to what to do, and I keep looking back at things that I've written like over the past couple of years, and I apparently always feel like this, so it's obviously just a common thing that I have, and I keep going back to, it always gets to around a month before and right up until the birth that I feel really unsure of myself. I don't know if I can do it. I'm also in that dilemma of like, should I go for an elective cesarean and do that, or should I try and hold out and have a vaginal? But it's just really hard, because obviously that you've got the recovery after. I honestly don't know what a full-term vaginal recovery. I obviously listen to lots of birth stories and postnatal stories and experiences from other women, which are really helpful. And I can talk to the women in my life that have had births like that. They've all said, like, yeah, it's, it's obviously difficult and you're recovering and all the rest of it, but it's different to a cesarean recovery. And I don't know, it's just weird, isn't it? Because it's really unknown to me, so I don't really know. And also there's that like time aspect of stuff where, and I think that's what's really got in my head recently, that the due date thing. And I know that normal gestation is between 37 and 42 weeks, and you're not overdue until 42 plus 1, and that's totally normal and everything. And obviously if you've got any concerns, you can go and have monitoring and all the rest of it. Always moving, thank goodness. And today we're going to have a scan this afternoon, and then see the consultant as well, and probably just discuss what, because they keep saying to me, they know obviously what my preferences are, and I've worked on it and done lots of research and spoken to lots of professionals about it. I've had therapy for a long time, worked with a psychiatrist, all of that, because of past, like bereavement, trauma, all that kind of thing, which I can go into at a different time, but I don't think today's the time. Obviously things like that all get kicked up as well when you're in a vulnerable or emotional, it is a life-changing turning point of your life. Oh, I'm getting a contraction. It's like a slow, obviously can still talk through it, so it's not that bad, but it's like really deep period cramp, low down. Basically, if that what's just going on now, I can talk through. It is uncomfortable. I can feel it. I'm trying to ignore it. If that continues, hopefully it will be the start of labour. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. I'll just have to mentally cope with it. I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, so I've worked on lots of things. I've got I've got the plan in place so that whoever, because this is the thing as well, because sort of continuity of care in England is not, like, you see a midwife through your antenatal care, but it's very unlikely that midwife is going to be the midwife at your birth. So you kind of build up trust and a relationship and all the rest of it with your sort of community midwife. I know you can hire a private midwife, which I think if we could have done financially, we would, because it would have been very beneficial. But you can also only, I'm happy with my midwife and my community midwife, and then I've got a professional midwifery advocate who is a consultant midwife who I see, who's brilliant as well. So we've talked about that. I've also been in touch with a really, really lovely sort of trauma and bereavement midwife, which I was put in touch with through my lovely, wonderful psychiatrist. No, is she a psychiatrist? I forgot, but yeah, she's lovely anyway. The lady who I see for therapy, she's brilliant. she's a doctor, but I don't know. She's a psychologist. Yeah, psychologist. And then I did used to say psychiatrist as well, who's great. Kind of miss her as well, because she was like, you know, when you really get on with people. And luckily, I really get on with all these ladies, so that's great. And this is totally unrelated, but I really, really hate my hair colour, because I dyed it kind of sporadically, spontaneously, on a whim, over Christmas, because I felt awful. I get that thing where lots of people get this as well. I didn't realise it was as common as it is, but where you kind of, the sun's coming out, yay. And it's Friday, yeah. Where you like think, oh, I need to change my hair colour, or have my hair cut, or do something, and it's usually to do with my hair. And the same thing happened. I should have known. The same thing it happened. Not long after I had Leo, I dyed my hair bright pink. Like bleached it, dyed it bright pink, and it's been I should really do a hair video separately, because I don't even know how many different types of things I've done to it over the years. It's such, I just don't really. And I got this top from, it's like an oversized sweatshirt from Asda last night as a last pregnancy treat for myself. It was £12.50, which I thought was alright, and it's probably not the best colour on me, but I don't really care. It's nice and soft. What was I on about? My hair. Yeah, and then I've tried, so it was really, really dark because I used the wrong colour. It was like a semi-permanent colour, and then I tried that, you know, those like colour removers, and it seemed to work when I was in the shower. It had gone to like a kind of really, really pale orange, and I thought, oh, that's good, because I can put a toner on it and work with that. And then when I put like the buffer thing on it and washed it out, and it was it just went really dark again, and I don't really understand. There's obviously some science behind it, I don't know, but I rinsed it for the time that it said, because apparently that's really important, that you need to rinse it. And there's loads of videos on YouTube of people who demonstrate that. I wasn't going to do that because I just didn't want to. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, the plan today is I'm going to go to the hospital later, have an ultrasound, which hopefully will be the last ultrasound. And then my boobs are really sore and heavy and that itchy. And talk about the plan. That's what I was talking about before I went on a hair tangent. Talk about what, you know, whether I want to book in a cesarean or not. I'm really torn. I'm really torn as to what to do, because I feel like, well, I did speak to really dear friend of mine who's also a midwife, and about can I just book a cesarean and have him like tomorrow. This was like the other day, and it's that thing of like, okay, let's just do it now and like get it over with. And but then obviously like long term me and the person, the me who's been going to therapy and going to all these meetings and all the rest of it, has planned, I did have a home birth planned, and then I sort of changed that quite recently, because of lots of things that are like totally out of my control, like the worry about an ambulance getting here if I needed it and all that kind of stuff. So all those like ideal situations that would ideally happen probably won't, because of what's going on with the NHS at the moment, which they can't help that. They're just, it's ridiculously unfair, the amount of pressure that they're under, and so it's a big ask to be again, like, there's home birth's wonderful, but because I've had the 3 cesareans and all the rest of it, it's just an added thing, and obviously when you're in labour you want to be able to let it go, just not have anything in the back of your mind. But anyway, I'm gonna go because this is like nearly half an hour long now, and yeah, we'll see how things go. Okay, bye.